You're watching The American on ESPN. The capper to a beautiful day in Orlando, Florida is a great American Conference matchup inside CFE Arena. SMU and UCF getting ready to tip it off. Alan Bestwick and Mark Weiss here with you as we look at the American Conference standings. There is a gaggle of teams bunched right behind conference leader Cincinnati. SMU needing a win to keep up with the Bearcats, while for UCF, this may be a must-win game for any hopes they have of making the NCAA tournament. Mark, who do you see as the players that are going to impact this game the most?
Well, let's start with probably the toughest matchup in the American for opposing coaches, and that's trying to slow down the versatility of Shimi Ojale. Put a bigger guy on him, and Ojale becomes a stretch four, knocking down a dynamite 43% from bonus land, but he also has the ability to score block to block. Shimi Ojale, SMU's leading scorer and a matchup nightmare. Meanwhile, UCF makes its length its strength, and that all starts with 7'6" center Taco Fall, who in his last 3 games has regained his form, averaging almost a double-double.
So UCF in the home whites with the black and gold trim, SMU with the road blues and the red trim. A key change for the SMU starting lineup tonight. Jere Foster is out of this game. Ben Meligu is in, 21, as a starter for the Mustangs, an already thin team, normally just playing 7 guys, now missing one of its regular starters.
And for a team that was thin to begin with, a lot of starters are going to have to play a lot of minutes.
Absolutely. Matt Williams, Mr. 3-point. Offensive rebound, Taco Fall, and he slams it home.
Right away, wow. Taco Fall just goes and gets a rebound where no other player can go get. Up over Ben Moore, and Fall with the little two-handed schwackums on the follow-through, but he lost his goggles in the process.
His glasses, basically, and you can see him holding the nose. The lens knocked out of the goggles. His mouthpiece wound up on the floor, but the big man making a big presence felt early on. As we have a look at SMU head coach Tim Jankovich, trying to take a team to the NCAA tournament as a head coach for the first time, says he's been there as a player. It's a dream of his to lead a team there, and they're certainly in good shape at this point in the season.
Well, he talked to us today about not being able to simulate the size of Taco Fall, and that first possession illustrated that.
Yeah. So here's Shake Milton handling the ball for the Mustangs. Had a career high 27 points in their game on Saturday against Houston. Now Ojale fires to Milton, who fires it through.
I think SMU is the best half-court executing team in this conference. They run their stuff. They get the shots they want. Their execution dictates their quality of shot.
Here's Tank Epiani for the Knights. Off to A.J. Davis. Tries to make some room. Overshoots everything. And a fight on the floor for the rebound. Whistles. And a foul going to be called. A kickball going to be called on UCF. That'll go over to SMU. Johnny Dawkins in his first season leading the night program here in Orlando. Of course, longtime head coach out at Stanford, 8 seasons there. He won at least 20 games in 4 of those 8 seasons. And he has these Knights within 1 conference win of equaling their American Conference win total of all of last season.
Yeah, they've already won 14 times on the year, where a year ago only 12.
There's Ben Moore from outside, too strong. UCF rebound.
One of the things we want to illustrate in this game today, Alan, is what SMU is going to try and do to get Taco Fall in an uncomfortable defensive position.
Ojale drives and dishes. Ben Moore will put it up, under, and in. That'll count. Fall knocked it back out of the basket after it had dropped down through. So Taco will take his first break of the game.
And I think he's complaining about his goggles.
He's touching his lip too. He must have caught some contact there when those goggles were dislodged. And so into the game for the Knights comes Chad Brown, 21, the sophomore from Deltona, Florida, about halfway between here and Daytona Beach. He gets the touch. 7 to shoot. Matt Williams will shoot from way outside. Brown goes up for the rebound. He'll get called for a push-off when he knocked Ben Moore out of the way.
Alan, I got to tell you, that's a lot of body sitting on the floor as they try and fix the goggles of Taco Fall. He'll be back in shortly.
So 2-point game in the early going. I felt like Taco Fall is such a difference maker just because of his size and the length that you talked about, that the first couple of moments of this game for SMU might be a little anxious while they tried to get used to it. We've seen other teams be taken right out of what they do.
Right.
But I thought SMU would be better than that, but just maybe take a few minutes to get anxious and be sold on the fact that what the coach was telling them they could do and should do would in fact work.
Right.
Good defensive help there from Shake Milton, knocks it out of bounds.
And as I predicted, Taco Fall and his goggles back on the floor. He just changes the way the game is played block to block down in that high rent district. On both ends of the floor.
Yeah. Easy to get the ball in bounds, put it up high where only he can reach it. 10 to shoot now. Matt Williams has the ball. Out to Taylor. B.J. Taylor looking for a spot. Ben Moore was there. Milton for help. Shot by Tank Effiani for 3 as the shot clock was going off.
He is a very streaky shooter, and in league play, he's upped his game a little bit, 42% from beyond the arc.
Milton to Ben Moore, quickly around the horn. Here's a Melagu. To Ben Moore, into the paint. Nice spin move around. Shot wouldn't go. Fight for the rebound, and it'll be SMU's ball. Knocked away as Sterling Brown and B.J. Taylor fought for the ball right in front of us. Don't shrivel back like that. You can take a hit.
Late shot clock awareness. Effiani off balance. B.J. Taylor finds him. Effiani knocks down the 3. Effiani's been in double figures 11 times this year.
Yeah, he's been a key player for the Knights for sure.
When he's in double figures, the Knights are 11-0. Kind of a good sign that he knocked down that 3 then.
That pretty well matches that phrase, key player. And a foul drawn by Shake Milton. That'll be on B.J. Taylor, his first. And so Shake Milton will go to the line shooting, the sophomore from Owasso, Oklahoma. 3rd in the American Conference in assist to turnover ratio. And of course, I mentioned already had the big game against Houston on Saturday with a career high 27 points. He was 6 for 8 from downtown.
He is a converted point guard, and I think is just finding his rhythm in terms of point guards have to understand, Alan, that you don't initiate the offense. Excuse me, you have to initiate the offense, but your shots, you have to allow the offense to come back to you.
Yeah. Just because you initiate the offense doesn't mean you're not a part of the offense once you initiate. Matt Williams from outside. Got that one.
You cannot parade wave on a closeout against Matt Williams. One of the better shooters, not only in this league, but in the country. He shoots, catch this, he shoots 13 threes in every league game.
And he's making almost 40% of them. Speaking of shooting for 3, that one off the mark from Sterling Brown. Rebound fight. SMU's got it. Spin in the lane from Ojale. Too much of a spin. He took steps.
UCF and Johnny Dawkins, they need a good shooting night from their best shooter, and that is Matt Williams from deep.
The American Conference tonight for the UCF Knights with the SMU Mustangs visiting Orlando. It's a 2-point game at the first media timeout. Alan Bestwick and Coach Mark Wise, when you look at this, these are 2 of the 4 stingiest teams in the nation in terms of points per game allowed, both in the top 4 in the country. So what's going to be the key matchup tonight?
I think it's going to be SMU's offense versus UCF's defense. And when you talk about SMU and their diversity offensively, take a look at how they rank in the American in scoring and shooting and three-point shooting and going to the offensive glass. UCF, as I mentioned in the open, they've made their length their strength on the defensive end. And when you look at the numbers that UCF is producing in the country outstanding defense, whether you're talking about points per game or rebounds or the field goal percentage defense, ranking 1, 2, and 3 in the country. Good offense versus good defense, something has to give.
It'll be interesting to see what that might be. So 2-point lead for the Knights with the ball.
How about 7'6" as a rotator?
Knights starting 5 back on the floor intact. Fall trying to make some space for himself down low. 7 to shoot. A.J. Davis will shoot. The left-hander no good. Rebound Shake Milton. Over to Amelagu. Quickly into the corner. Ojale back to Amelagu for 3. A little strong. 2 UCF players knock the ball away from each other. Quick turnaround on offense. Ojale for 3. That won't go. Right into the hands of Davis for the Knights.
SMU number 2 in the country in offensive rebound percentage according to Ken Palm. The Knights have to have a better one-and-done mentality on the glass.
Shot off the mark from Efiani. Might have missed a foul there as Davis tried to cut through for the rebound. Saw a little tug on his jersey, but mine are just 2 pairs of maybe 8,000 or so in the house. Nice feed underneath to Ben Moore. Fights through. Ojale with the offensive glass.
Again, SMU is relentless in terms of going to the offensive glass. I love their spacing, which allows them to always be in the right spot for second chance opportunities.
Both of these teams clear the boards really well as Davis tries to go in, feeds it back out. Williams for 3. Got it. That's his second. These 2 teams are 2nd and 3rd in the nation in rebounding margin. On the plus side, they both clear the glass really, really well. And you expect that, UCF, okay, 7'6" guy doing a lot of that work. SMU has a lot of big players, not that one overwhelmingly sized guy as Shake Milton answers with the 3.
Well, as Tim Jankovic said earlier in the year when I had them, we don't have any big guys. As Matt Williams again, he's starting to heat up. I was here last week when he made 11 against USF. Let me complete my thought on Tim Jankovic. He said, hey, we don't have any bigs, but we don't have any smalls.
Yeah.
But our medium-sized guys, they're really good. See, there's the extra pass.
Ben Moore, nice touch for 2.
Wonderful execution in the half court. Now, can SMU adjust on Matt Williams?
He is 3 for 5 from outside. They'll just go inside to Efiani.
Efiani rejects the screen. No weak side help defensively.
So Shake Milton will slow things down for the Mustangs, and they'll set the offense. Sterling Brown, guarded by Matt Williams. Ball on the floor. Brown regains possession, feeds Ojale. He feeds the bucket. Ben Moore, nice job crashing the boards, but the ball knocked into the hands of B.J. Taylor. Here come the Knights, already leading by 4.
SMU firing blanks from beyond the arc. They make more threes than anybody else in this conference.
Efiani in the paint, ball off the back iron. Here comes Sterling Brown for SMU. Ben Moore to Shemi Ojale, uncontested.
Ben Moore went right at Taco Fall, and they worked on that today at shoot-around. They want to play downhill at Fall, off the bounce, and have him defend a 2-on-1 situation.
Up inside to Fall through his hands. Turnover. Now a 2-point lead. Moore feeds outside. Meligu brings it back down. Shake Milton looks back. Tim Jankovic calls out a play or a set. Meligu looking, 10 to shoot. Milton outside. Meligu for 3. No. Ball on the floor. B.J. Taylor with the rebound for UCF.
Smallest guy on the floor. Watch out.
Matt Williams.
Watch out.
Same spot he's made almost every one of his 4 made threes in this game from. Can almost put a mark on the floor and say if he shoots it from there, it's going through.
He is fun to watch, isn't he?
And he will pull the trigger from anywhere on the floor. Doesn't matter if he's 6 feet outside the arc, he'll let it go. And again, make 40% of them. 6 to shoot. Brown drives, rejected by Fall, again rejected. And he gets the rebound.
Wow, what a flurry.
Davis, the reverse up and under, no good.
Now that's one Davis has got to make.
5-point game. Ojale was fouled on the floor, leading us to a timeout. Mark Wise listening in on the UCF huddle. We'll talk about it next. Thursday night at 8 on ESPN. A great one from the ACC, the 9th ranked. This is a Kansas and Kentucky, the Sonic Blockbuster, which should be a terrific one. Saturday at 6:15 Eastern on ESPN. 2 of what are now the top 5 teams in the country, though both coming off a loss last night. It should make them all the more anxious to not have 2 losses in a row. So, Mark, you were just listening in on the UCF huddle.
Well, Johnny Dawkins, talking to his team about transition defense, felt like that his team got in a rut going back down the floor. And on the offensive end, as you take a look at the UCF scouting report, he wants them to attack the rim. He knows that he's got a prolific shooter, but they cannot get offensively into a Matt Williams or else mentality on the offensive end. So he's asking his team to drive the ball to the rim. The thing that has hurt UCF this year, too many giveaways, too many turnovers.
Yep. All right, see how it plays out here as SMU inbounds the ball, down by 5, halfway through this first half.
UCF on the out-under zones and stays in it.
Deshaun McDowell 5 into the game for the Mustangs. From the corner, Ojale, that's a 2.
Ojale, Milton, Sterling Brown, marvelous mid-range games.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Who plays what position? Who's going to shoot from 2? Who's going to shoot from 3? This SMU team's so versatile. Effiani with the right hand. Little short. Nick Banyard into the game, 14 for the Knights, as well as 21, Chad Brown. Fall on the bench for a breather. McDowell, that will be basket interference on the part of Nick Banyard.
Yeah, goaltending because the ball went off the glass, and it doesn't matter if the ball is at its apex or whether or not it's on its way up. Once it hits the glass, you cannot touch it.
So now a 1-point game.
And McDowell's only averaging 1.3, so anything he gives them would be bonus for the Ponies.
Again, this is a team that generally only runs, I call it about a 6.5-man rotation. And one of those 6 is not playing tonight. Effiani's shot misses. Here come the Mustangs.
Oh, yeah, Matt Williams wide open on the wing.
Brown got it for 3.
That's a soft closeout. Brown is one of 4 players on SMU's squad who shoot better than 40% from the arc. You must put your feet above the arc when guarding SMU.
Banyard in the double team. Brown got a hand on the ball. It went off of Banyard and out of bounds again, so it's a turnover to the Mustangs.
That's the kind of turnover that will drive coaches crazy. Take another look. Here's the pass. Way too late on the closeout. That's a wide open look for Sterling Brown, who had been in a little rare slump for him. Last 3 games, just 2 for 13 from beyond the arc. But you can't give a guy who shoots 43% on the year that clean of a look.
Ojale, a little too strong, but the rebound to Moore. Nicely stripped. B.J. Taylor then loses the dribble off his foot. Knocks it away, out of bounds. Hello, into the donor seats right behind the scorer's table. Ojale, but everybody appears okay on both sides of the table, or those expected to be on both sides of the table. How about that?
I think so many times, Alan, the worst turnover is after you get a turnover.
Yeah.
I mean, you've just given away what you gained defensively.
51, Nathan Lang in the game for the Knights. B.J. Taylor goes out for a breather with 8 to go in this first half.
He won't be out long.
No.
Played all 40 minutes at Memphis the other night.
Averages about 34 a game. Here's Williams. That one rattles around and out. He was 3 steps to the right of that X on the floor.
Williams has the ability, as he has the ball in his hands, he'll feel for the seams. He's really good at it.
Deshaun McDowell, a freshman guard from Oklahoma City. He wanted to put it up. He's still laughing about it. Look at him. Shot clock at 6. Milton. Off to the mark. Off the mark. Wide left. Wait, that's the other season. Here's Williams.
See the hand down by the defender. You're asking for trouble.
Brown drives, gets it up. Does not get the foul. Does not get the ball to go in.
It's the other versatility thing of this SMU team. They have 4 or 5 different guys who can all lead the break once they rebound.
Ben Moore tries to drive back Chad Brown in, instead steps back and floats it over him. 9-0 run for the Mustangs, and a timeout by the Knights.
SMU so versatile on the offensive end. So many times they rely on their 2 seniors. This time, it's Ben Moore with the little floater in the lane. SMU up 4.
Few months ago. 4-point lead. SMU over UCF, and the Mustangs on a nice little 9-0 run leading to the timeout.
Well, it can come from so many different players. Take a look at the field goal shooting led by Ben Moore this season. Now, keep in mind that Brown, Milton, Ojale, and Foster, all 4 also shoot better than 40% from the arc.
Yep.
So this is a really difficult team, I think, to defend because all the pieces fit in the SMU puzzle.
Well, right now, Tim Jankovic's team stretching things out a little bit. Again, playing without one of those people that you just saw. Jeray Foster not playing tonight. Injured in the first half of their game against Houston over the weekend. Didn't play in the second half of that one. Is not going to play in this one here tonight. Fortunately for the Mustangs, they have the weekend off this weekend. They draw a bye weekend at a very nice time where that health situation is concerned. Banyard tried to get it inside to fall, tipped away, and recovered by Sterling Brown. He runs the floor, runs into traffic. Ooh, Ojale down hard. Matt Williams back the other way, draws a foul. Ojale is still down on the floor. He landed flat on his back after going up in traffic in that one.
Hitting the offensive glass, trying to shake it off. Brown, last minute, little shovel pass. And then Ojale's legs just get taken out from under him. And as you said, Alan, landed on that backside, trying to walk it off.
Yeah.
SMU's leading scorer, a matchup nightmare for opposing head coaches.
And I didn't see anything intentional there. Just 2 players running back toward the basket, one wearing blue, one wearing white, and getting tangled up. With,
bodies.
Looking up at the ball and at the basket.
A lot of traffic, block to block. Meanwhile, Matt Williams, do you think he can make free throws? It's a little close. It's only 15 feet out.
He's 5 steps in and 10 steps to the right of that X on the floor.
And I'm being facetious because Matt Williams is 84% at the free throw line.
Ojale went to the bench because of the stoppage. He's ready to come back in, not able to come back in yet. He hadn't checked in.
Yeah, you're not allowed to come back in until there's a live ball.
And so Williams makes it a 4-point game. Mustangs leading. Well, the one of his players, and I don't care who the player is hitting the floor, will not make Tim Jankovic very comfortable. This is a thin roster right now, and health across the tough conference schedule has been a constant topic of conversation with Jankovic when you go to cover SMU games. There's Ben Moore, a little short with that one.
But what a nice play by Milton, though. Read that play perfectly.
Taylor for 3 off the mark. Taco Fall tried to tap the rebound out, but tapped it into the hands of Shake Milton. Milton drives underneath, feeds back in the lane. Ben Moore back outside to Amelagu. Good recovery there by Matt Williams to get a hand up in his face.
They're just not going to allow Taco Fall to alter shots again.
Milton, short. And contact, and that will be on Ben Moore.
But if you don't block out SMU, you're going to have a hard time gathering rebounds. You must be active. You have to put a body on a body, but then go seek the rebound.
No foul there. That was the ball off of Ben Moore, so the Knights keep it here, trailing by 4. UCF has only lost one time on their home floor all season long. DJ Taylor lost the ball, went off of Ben Moore. He's trying to appeal for someone to check it out. Mark Schnur, veteran official, talking to Tim Jankovic, not really having anything of it. Taylor, we have a winner, whistle, we have a foul underneath. Is that on Taco Fall?
I couldn't tell what
did someone,
Chris Beaver had called there.
Or did someone step on the end line? I never saw a signal of a number. We'll follow up.
SMU basketball.
Yes.
We've played 15 minutes. The two teams have combined for just 4 fouls.
Look at that Ben Moore fight. Fall rejects. A.J. Davis comes up with the ball. He'll be fouled as he tries to bring it down.
Well, that's where Ben Moore's got to kick the ball back out. The presence of Taco Fall. His ability to alter shots, get back into play. I thought Matt Williams got away with a foul there. Perhaps Taco Fall did as well.
DJ Taylor drives, draws contact, and will shoot free throws.
Two of the better point guards in this conference going head-to-head. And we're going to talk about point guards at halftime.
Yes, absolutely. So Ben Moore picks up the foul. You know the other thing that other call might have been? I wonder if that was 3 seconds on Taco. Because no foul was posted. So maybe he just parked a little too long in the paint. So here's P.J. Taylor. 2 seasons ago, led this team in his true freshman year, then basically missed all of last season with a lower leg injury, has come back this year, missed some games with a thumb injury. You can see the finger on his right hand still is taped. But after settling in, coming off that injury, his field goal percentage is up from 37% at his freshman season to 44% this year.
I think he understands where his shots come from.
Lay off the mark, fight for the rebound.
Again, offensive rebounding, I think, is a lot of want to and anticipation. And on that miss, I think Ojale knew he had left that short. Watch Ojale and how quick he responds to the offensive rebound. He's the first there. Foul on A.J. Davis.
So 14 foul on the Knights. Mustangs will inbound, 4.5 to go in this first half. And a 2-point lead. By the way, that nice little follow from Ojale, not showing any ill effects from that hard shot to the floor that he took a few minutes ago. It caused him to sit from the game for what, about 30 seconds. There's a turnaround, a little short. Contact underneath, and a push-off on Sterling Brown. We'll get the foul.
These are rare minutes that Chad Brown and Taco Fall are on the floor at the same time.
So that's the second personal on Sterling Brown. And one thing that Tim Jankovic told us they could not afford against particularly this big and lengthy UCF team with the thin bench they have for SMU is foul trouble.
Neither one of these teams fouls a lot. In league play, SMU 13.5, UCF 15.7. So both teams enjoy shooting a lot more free throws than their opponents. What did Tim Jankovic talk to us about when we asked him this morning about his team and are you happy with where they are? And he said, yeah, I think we're focused, we're mature, we're a hungry group.
Put it in for Taco. He got blocked, and that'll be a jump ball. He got the rebound, tried to go up with it, and was met at the iron. Watch this.
Great play by Amelagu first, and then Ben Moore. That's one you can tell your grandchildren. Remember the night that I blocked a 7'6" guy.
The guy that was 8 inches taller than me and had the ball right at the basket. Outside, Ojale. Yep.
It's just a soft closeout again. He's a matchup nightmare because Brown and Fall are on the floor at the same time. Chad Brown is matched up with Ojale.
5-point lead from outside. Davis misses. Nice rebound underneath and put back by Chad Brown.
I'd be surprised if UCF doesn't try to zone. This is a bad matchup in terms of Chad Brown on Ojale.
Ojale drives, little defensive help, knocked the ball away. Here comes B.J. Taylor, ahead to Davis, in trouble. Back out. Williams will back it out. Good transition defense by the Mustangs. Davis drives in the lane, knocked away from him. Fight for it on the floor. SMU comes up with it.
Again, just an unforced turnover. It's just not there.
McDowell feeds it outside. Amelagu will drain the three.
I tell you what is there, though. Make the extra pass.
Yeah.
SMU is as good as anybody in the country at making the extra pass. They had 30 field goal makes against Houston over the weekend, 25 assists in the game.
6-point lead for the Mustangs. Already down to just 10 to shoot. Ball out to set the screen. Taylor trapped. Throws it. A.J. Davis has it. Shot clock running out. He'll drive. Get it knocked away. Here comes Ojale up to Shake Milton. And the rim gets rattled. Timeout. UCF.
When you talk about versatile players in the conference, you have to start with Shimmy Ojale. A stretch four. Knocks down the three. SMU on a little bit of a run.
This seconds ago, the fraternity members dancing with the dance team. The backdrop for us to tell you about the SEC Big 12 Challenge tripleheader on ESPN. West Virginia, Texas A&M at noon, Florida and Oklahoma, and then Texas and Georgia. All three games streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. I think things like the SEC Big 12 Challenge are terrific for college basketball.
I could not agree more. There is such a thing as good individual defense, and then there's good team defense. Ben Moore with the help, the deflection. McDowell gets dirty and to the floor. Milton comes up with the steal. But that all came about because these mid-sized guys have a great concept on both ends of the floor as you take a look at the size of Tim Jankovich's team.
Now, this is not like when you go to the rent-a-car lot where they tell you the mid-size car and it looks like the compact car, and they tell you the full-size car and it looks like the mid-size. These are real mid-size?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
But they get great gas mileage, especially with as many minutes as these guys have to play.
Look at the defense. Chad Brown tries to get to the rim, fight for the rebound. Knocked out of bounds. It's going to go to SMU.
Chad Brown trying to play a little power hoops.
Yeah, just looking at some of the stat sheets that come out at every one of the media timeouts. Points off turnovers. Key difference between these two teams right now. 9 points off turnovers for SMU, none for UCF.
Right, UCF just too many giveaways. We talked about in scouting the Knights. And it's not like SMU's pressuring the ball. This SMU team cannot afford to play that way.
Yep. There are the numbers to back it up. So a minute and a half to go.
This might be a big 90 seconds for UCF.
Yeah, do they keep it within range or does it get out of hand right here going to the locker room? Feed underneath the basket and off the knee of Ben Moore and out of bounds. And a turnover there by the Mustangs. Can the Knights get some points off it now?
And Melagu threw a knee ball. Knee-high fastball. Hard to complete down in the paint.
It's good in baseball, that knee-high fastball thing. But, you know, a little different game. B.J. Taylor into some tall traffic. Ben Moore rejected it. He finds Matt Williams out on the wing. into Taco. And he's fouled on the floor.
I think this is on Milton and a help defender.
Yep.
Before the shot. Again, part of the good team defense. The throw over to Fall. Milton is the weak side. And just grabs the wrist of Taco Fall.
So Tim Jankovic will not take any chances on Shake Milton picking up a third foul. That's his second. He goes to the bench for the final minute of this half. Jonathan Wilfong, 22, senior guard from Memphis, comes on to complete this final moment of the first half. And he will quickly pick up a foul.
Still team foul just number 6, though, so no free throws. Now this is where UCF has to go 2 for 1 to close the half.
Yep.
A concept that college coaches are slowly wrapping their arms around.
Into Taco. Through his hands. Gets it back. Gets it knocked away from him as he tried to come around, but they got ball there. Still UCF's ball.
There are a lot of blue jerseys down in that paint area, block to block around Taco Fall.
Collapse and defend. Time's ticking here. Into Taco again. He'll feed it outside to Davis. Inside to Banyard. He'll draw contact and a foul with 4 to shoot and 30 in the half.
Maybe UCF's best executed half-court possession in the last 5 or 6 minutes. It's Banyard to the free throw line.
And that's a Melagu's second foul. So now 3 Mustangs with 2 fouls going into these final 30 seconds of this first half.
Tim Jankovic is going to bring back Milton and Brown because they can close out the half on offense. And what he's saying to the team right there, no offensive charge.
Yeah.
So you've got to play smart. Well, guess what? His team, they play smart.
Banyard 1 of 2.
Now UCF has a couple of fouls to give.
And the slightest of differences between the shot and the game clock.
See, I'd be tempted to use my fouls off the ball. You don't want B.J. Taylor to foul.
Milton feeds Ben Moore. He goes up over Taco Fall and drains it in. 2 seconds. 1. Taylor from just inside the midcourt line off the mark, and SMU will go to the locker room with a 9-point lead on UCF. Couple of guys with a couple of fouls, but a strong team performance in this first half for the Mustangs. And it's 35-26 at halftime. Back on the other side of the break, Adnan Burke. 8 Eastern on ESPN. A great one from the ACC. The 9th-ranked Tar Heels hosting Virginia Tech at the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill. Streaming live, of course, on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN.
Well, how do you attack Taco Fall? You can do it in a couple of different ways. One way is to go to the offensive glass. Another way is when he is out of the game, take advantage. Ben Moore with the mid-range jumper. And then SMU, as good as anybody in the country at making the extra pass. Inside out leads to the Amelagu 3. Speaking of threes, how about Matt Williams? Fun to watch.
4 of 7 in the first half for 3, but for a lot of the second part of the first half, SMU did a nice job of taking him away as you look at some of the numbers from the first half.
2 numbers jump out at me. UCF's turnovers 7, SMU points off turnovers 9. But here's a more important stat. Because of offensive rebounding, because of the turnovers, SMU took 10 more shots than did the Knights in the first 20. And if you're playing SMU, you cannot give them 10 extra shots.
So can the Knights make a charge, pun intended, to start this second half and close this thing up? Joe Lenardi says for the Knights to be considered for an at-large bid as B.J. Taylor rattles the rim with a 3 and out. Jake Milton with the rebound. Says they need to win this game and have a split with their 2 remaining games against Cincinnati to have a shot for consideration for an at-large bid. Ben Moore a little off the mark. And Taco Fall there for the rebound.
That's an altered shot.
So UCF led this game 19-14 at 10:50 to go in the first half. Steps taken, turnover. Since then, a 24-7 run for SMU leaves us with the scoreline you see now.
Another unforced turnover for UCF. You just can't come up with empty trips, especially against a team as good as SMU. And when you're talking about the American Conference, Alan, in terms of teams and can they get on the bubble, I think for teams like Memphis, Tulsa, Houston, UCF, they're going to have to beat SMU or Cincinnati.
Absolutely. Nice run to the rim by Ben Moore for the dunk. Again, a reminder that SMU playing without one of their starting five. Jere Foster is out of the game. Contact underneath, and a whistle and a foul.
The tournament committee is going to ask, who did you play? That has to do with strength of schedule. Who did you beat? No wins in the top 50. They do have 3 in the top 100. And where did you beat them? Quality wins. Charleston on the road is a big-time win. Charleston's RPI around 60. So bad losses, none for Johnny Dawkins' team. They did have a quizzical loss at home, the only home loss that they have on the season to Penn, but B.J. Taylor didn't play in that game.
Ben Moore was down after taking that contact under the rim. He's gone to the bench. Might be a contact lens just dislodged, but again, SMU playing without one of their starting five. Jere Foster with concussion protocol after taking a hard spill to the floor in the first half of their game against Houston on Saturday. There's Matt Williams. Can't get untracked. Taco Fall bats the rebound around. Gets his hands on it finally.
Oh my goodness.
Third time was a charm on that one.
He can gather a rebound where very few players can get rebounds. Here's UCF. First change strategically. They've gone to the zone.
Ben Moore back at the scorer's table waiting to check back in for the Mustangs. McDowell back outside. Nice touch pass from Milton over into the corner. And Sterling Brown buries it.
How about the ball movement, though? Great attack of the zone. Shake Milton did not panic.
Taylor answers for the Knights.
Well, we feature point guard play at halftime. 2 number ones, Milton and Taylor. Wonderful point guard matchup in this game.
So a 9-point game.
Notice all 5 blue jerseys are on the perimeter. 5 out.
Swing it out to Milton. Milton shot a little short. McDowell gets in there, knocks the ball back outside, but right to B.J. Taylor. He'll feed it back outside to Taco Fall. Trailing the play. Come on, big fella, throw the 3. And Taylor draws the contact and scores the bucket.
In transition, Taylor, first time around, got himself in trouble and had to bail out with a pass. Look at this ball fake. And then Taco Fall with a little rub screen. Taylor with a high degree of difficulty finish.
So that is the 3rd foul on Sterling Brown. Just 3 minutes into this second half. Again, SMU with a scant bench to choose from.
This is where Tim Jankovic is going to trust his senior, Sterling Brown, still on the floor.
Brown with the ball here, guarded by Effiani. Slips it to Ojale. Nice turnaround.
I talked about his versatility. Did you know that 42% of his scoring is with 2s, 35% is with 3s, 24% at the free throw line? That's getting it done offensively.
Mustangs run off the Williams miss. He could not draw the foul. And now bring it back out and reset. Ojale for 3, off the rim short. Here
UCF got away with a poor defensive possession there.
Taylor tries to go up over Ben Moore. No foul, no bucket. Went straight up. Still an 8-point lead for the Mustangs. Knights just trading baskets with them so far early in this second half. They need a run. Ojale again from the corner. That one off the mark.
Another room service assist possibility, though, for Milton. Just has a great feel for the game.
Ball on the pick and roll. You're going to have a hard time keeping the ball out of the bucket when he gets it like that under the rim.
I think his progression from last year to this year, we saw him a lot last season.
Yep.
He's in better condition. He can play longer. He plays 10 more minutes per game this year. But his ability to be a force on both ends, quite impressive.
Milton altered that shot attempt. Ball was there. Ball off the rim from Amelagu, right into the hands of the big man. Down to 6, Taylor. That's a 2. Down to 4, the advantage for the Mustangs.
Knights making a run. SMU going into the nightmare section, student section here at UCF.
There's Brown. Got it for 3.
Again, great execution. SMU is a very pattern-oriented team. Screen off the ball, on the point.
Taylor out to Williams. No. And they know what they want to do and how to execute it. You're talking to Tim Jakovich this morning. You asked him, I think it was about if he felt this is one of the higher basketball IQ teams he's ever had.
Yeah, he said he had to think about it for a second. He said, yeah, I think so. They just understand how to play. This is going to be a blocking call on Davis because he was in the restricted area arc. Okay, Alan, so you want to be 7'6". How about the versatility of Taco Fall? First, the ball fake at the arc. Are you kidding me? Which allows P.J. Taylor for the finish.
Oh, the things we'll do for a free T-shirt. 13:58 to go, second half here in Orlando. The Knights made a run to close it to 4, but now have fallen back by 9 behind Tim Jakovich's SMU Mustangs. Of course, a player at Kansas State, a longtime assistant, also a former head coach at Illinois State, and among other places. Took over when Larry Brown left SMU. This is his first full season as head coach of the Mustangs. He's a pretty cool guy to talk to. A very calm as practices. He's really got a relationship with his players you could just feel.
Well, he was funny because he talked about his lack of depth, and then I had to remind him that there were several other teams in the American Conference that also had a lack of depth. He didn't want to hear much about that, did he? He's done a marvelous job. People forget he was 9-0 as the interim head coach last year when Larry Brown was serving a suspension, and that's the reason why his overall record at SMU is a fabulous 26-4.
Said never looks any more into the future than the next opponent they play. Said he, like so many coaches, couldn't forgive himself if he took a minute less time away from preparing for the next opponent, and then they lost.
Yeah, I asked him that because after tonight, SMU has the weekend off. They don't play, they get a bye. I said, well, you watch other games. And he said, no, I don't do that.
A.J. Davis, the left-hander.
I think that's where A.J. Davis could impact the game more.
Well, Knights made a little run. But then the Mustangs answered. So now UCF trailing by 7. They've only lost once on their home floor all season long. That was to Penn back on December 12th. Shot clock down at 7. Ojale from the corner. Money.
I don't understand why you would guard Amelagu and leave Ojale open in the corner. Tough team to zone, though.
Ojale up to 13 in the game. High scorer for the Mustangs. That one off the mark. Rebound by Shake Milton. Milton got a step on Effiani, feeds it back outside. Amelagu will reset, back into the corner. Milton followed him. Shot a little short, right into the hands of Sterling Brown.
Take a look at the attack, though. 4 guys will be on the perimeter once Ogilvy moves out.
Ben Moore. Rebound by A.J. Davis. Taco Fall on the bench for the moment. Chad Brown, 21, into the game for the Knights. He gets the ball there in the post. Stripped away on his way up. Knocked off, out of bounds off of him, and it's Mustangs ball.
Extra pass. I hate to sound like a broken record, but SMU, fantastic at making that extra pass. At halftime, SMU had 15 makes. They had 11 assists.
Now they're at 17 assists on 21 makes. So a 10-point lead here. 10 to shoot. Meligu fires to Ben Moore. Dumps it into the paint off the toes of Ojale. And again, he's pretty good at vaulting this scorer's table by now. So SMU out in front by 10. Almost halfway through. Tim's going to listen in on the Mustangs huddle right now. The SEC Big 12 Challenge presented by Sonics, Saturday, 4th edition. And boy, got some great games lined up as part of it. Just something, again, I think it's great for college basketball to see these during conference season intersectional games matching up 2 different conferences, and we got some really good ones lined up.
Well, that's the unique feature of this, is when it happens. And this is the second year of moving it into late January. And yeah, I would like to have a ticket. Can you arrange for me to be at Rupp on Saturday night?
Well, I can't arrange that for you, but I can tell you were just listening in to Tim Jankovic in the SMU huddle. And what were they discussing?
All offense. He told his team in terms of spacing and the play that he wants and how he wants to attack with Taco Fall back in the game. I think that's a common theme when you're playing UCF and Taco. You've got to figure out how to attack him offensively.
Taco being defended, feeds it to A.J. Davis for the slam.
Does that mean Taco is the assist guy now?
If he has to be. Can I tell you something in confidence?
Sure.
I called you Tim when you left to go to the huddle. Trying to catch your headset before it hit the desk. I apologize deeply.
Not a problem.
First one's on me.
I've been called a lot worse.
Ben Moore had it knocked away. The long reach of Taco Fall got a left hand in there. Knights trail by 8. Davis anticipated by Shake Milton, but he couldn't save it without stepping on the end line.
B.J. Taylor, the lob over. Again, it's the skill set of Taco Fall. He's not just 7'6", but he caught that ball in traffic. He had to gather and get the loose ball, and then he had to find a teammate. That's skills. Those are skills. And the big fella's got some.
2 collapsing on him quickly. Feeds to Matt Williams underneath. Efiani loses control on the way up.
Too many giveaways.
That has been a thorn in the side of this UCF team. So need a defensive stop here. Shot clock at 10. Meligu drives, feeds out to Moore. Gets knocked off of his hand and off of SMU out of bounds.
I think the last 2 or 3 possessions, I feel like SMU is allowing the shot clock to dictate their quality of shot. I think they've got to go a little faster.
Texas Tech and Baylor coming up next in Waco. Best ever start of the season for the Bears as Taylor drives and one.
Well, one of the unique features of B.J. Taylor is his upper body strength. Watch this as he attacks, absorbs the blow, and still has the presence of mind to finish. Watch his head. Watch as he looks the ball in all the way. Outstanding play, outstanding player, B.J. Taylor.
So into the 11th point of the game for B.J. Taylor now. Make that 12 with the +1. And the Knights have cut it back to 5. Remember, they had it down as low as 4 earlier, then the Mustangs pulled away again. Ojale, Epiani, feeds into Ben Moore, and into traffic. Milton, yes, for 3.
The ball movement, though, turned what looked like a near turnover into a quality look.
No panic on the part of the Mustangs there. There's Taylor for 3. Yep.
Feeling it.
And a timeout. Five-point game. The Mustangs try to pull away. They've had an answer for every UCF run, but B.J. Taylor trying to lead his team on the comeback trail. Making some noise here in Orlando as the UCF Knights have closed it down to a 5-point deficit on SMU.
Let's go inside the play and how to play pick and roll basketball. You read the defender, freeze it there. When B.J. Taylor sees that Shake Milton has gone under the screen, that allows Taylor to get a free look in rhythm with the seams, and he makes SMU pay for going under the screen, but that's proper reading of that play. And how about the turnaround of B.J. Taylor here in the second half?
Well, the leading scorer for the Knights was not leading in terms of point production in the first half, but is in this second half.
Right now on his seasonal average, right at 16.
Leading scorers in the game are Taylor and Shemi Ojale, both with 16. 3 players in double figures for the Mustangs, 2 in double figures for UCF. Matt Williams started the game off with a spark for the Knights, but hasn't had too many touches and too many looks from about the midpoint of the first half on.
Johnny Dawkins must have seen something, Alan, that he wanted to relate with his team about, because by taking that timeout, the Knights are down to 1 with 9 minutes to go.
8 to shoot. Ben Moore over the outstretched arm of Taco Fall, and it rattles out. Chance to make it a 1-possession game. Taylor drives into traffic, feeds Epiani, back out to Williams from his spot. But that one a little strong, but Fall tips it in. And a whistle.
I think they're going to get Fall for going over the back. SMU lived dangerous by allowing Matt Williams a clean look. Notice that Fall does indeed go over the back of Ojale. I think that's a good call.
So take the points off the board. First foul on Taco Fall. Still a 5-point lead, and the ball turned back over to the Mustangs. Milton left all alone. Makes him pay.
Breakdown defensively. Simple ball rotation. Nothing fancy.
So Shake Milton adds to his total in this one. He's now at 11. And another empty possession.
Now it's just not working at passing. He's feeling it.
That one around and out. Taylor and the Knights run. Feeds Williams. And that'll get knocked out of bounds off of SMU, and a timeout with just under 8 minutes to go in the ball game. They've closed it down a couple times but haven't caught up. Can Johnny Dawkins design a play and a way to get his Knights back up front? Blazers don't miss SportsCenter at night with Stan and Neal. Highlights and breakdowns from the NBA, NHL, college basketball, the Australian Open women's semis, and a look ahead to Super Bowl 51. SportsCenter at night after the NBA Wednesday doubleheader on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. Yes, you're on the big screen.
Where do you go to buy a hat like that?
Probably the gift shop out in the lobby.
You think that's a hot ticket?
Since it says UCF on the side?
It's got to be like buy one, get 5 free, doesn't it?
So can I tie this this tennis highlight thing in with your basketball junkie status?
Absolutely.
There's a Vandeweghe playing in the Australian Open women's semifinal.
Correct. Kiki Vandeweghe's?
Nice, I believe.
Nice, yeah,
Coco.
I think so.
Coco playing Venus Williams. Serena Williams playing Mariana Lucic-Baroni, who lives in the United States, though she's not from here. The American women doing very well down under in the year's first Grand Slam.
Big segment for UCF. They want to be the hang-around team at the end.
Effiani into fall, quickly doubled, gets the ball up, but everybody went straight up. Empty possession for the Knights. Milton going to slow it down.
Now Milton has to shoot that, and he knew it. When he gave that ball back up, you see him clap his hands together. He knew that they may not get a better look.
7 to go. That's 7 points. That's off the front of the rim from Ojale, one of the rare misses from him tonight. Check that 8-point gap for the Knights. Effiani drives. Nice.
Well, he's gone a long time between field goals. I think he made UCF's very first shot of the game.
So 7 for Tank Effiani.
Notice that Taco Falls playing a one-man zone.
Amelagu, a little too strong, but Ben Moore there for the long rebound. And the Mustangs get a chance to reset. And reset they will. Milton driving and stopping. Now 10 to shoot.
Yeah, that's the respect. That's the Taco respect.
Shoots over the top of Fall, who spins around. Rebound A.J. Davis. Knights with a chance to close it from 6 down. They've gotten as close as 4. DJ Taylor, way off the mark. And fortuitous rebound to Davis, but he has to just throw it in. And that's out of bounds, but it is off SMU.
We talked about the defensive effort of UCF. Giving up more points tonight, eventually, and their field goal percentage defense. Again, SMU, if you've held SMU to 43%, that's still pretty good.
I believe they're going to go to the monitor and look and see who this ball was knocked out of bounds off of, which indeed is happening now. Mike Stewart and Chris Beaver over to look at the replay on the sideline.
Yeah, I think this is a
the
shot clock.
Okay.
Yeah, because they cannot do this until the last 2 minutes. The ball bounced out first, so that was the correct call, even though Taco Fall shouldn't have attempted to save that.
Yep.
So they're going to check and see if it was indeed a change of possession and what the shot clock should be at.
All right, let's see.
Here's the B.J. Taylor miss. The ball gets batted around, saved by A.J. Davis, who throws it off. I think that's correct.
Yeah.
I think they reset it when they should have. Ball seemed to come off Ojale.
All right, well, while they tidy this one up, what you think of last night when 3 of the top 5 teams in the nation lost all on the same night?
Life on the road, baby. It is tough to get wins.
Well, Virginia Tech will go on the road in a very tough place to win. The Dean Dome in North Carolina to take on the 9th-ranked Tar Heels. That's Thursday night at 8 Eastern on ESPN from the ACC, streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN as well. Let's have the first night that 3 of the top 4 had lost on the same night in a long time. What, second time in the last 20 seasons. So who's your number 1 today?
I'm glad you asked, because I don't believe that you just move people up the ladder because somebody in front of you lost. I think I would still vote Villanova 1.
Okay.
I think there is an argument for Gonzaga because they're the last undefeated, but I would vote Villanova 1.
All right, so they've adjusted the shot clock, and so they're not going to call that touch.
And I think the reason for this is because the shot by B.J. Taylor did not hit the rim, and therefore it should not have been reset.
So 16 to shoot for the Knights, with Matt Williams to inbound the ball, trailing by 6. Taylor in traffic. That doesn't hit the rim, but Fall stuffs it home.
Big fella in traffic.
Four points. The deficit now for UCF.
SMU is just grinding out every possession.
Two teams among the best in the nation at holding their opponents down in points per game. Fall inside, goes up for the block, gets the ball. And the Knights have a chance again to make it a one-possession deficit. Taylor leading the Knights. Bad pass inbounds though.
And you just have to get shots on goal. A.J. Davis really struggling with his decision making.
Coming down to 4 minutes to go. 4-point deficit. Can the Knights get another stop? Shake Milton.
Love it.
Wow.
I just love it. They move him off the point, give him a little down screen. Do you think he knew that play was designed for him?
Epiani throws it up for Taco Fall. Milton read it.
Another ill-advised pass, though, Allen.
Yeah. Brown drives outside. Ojale. Back to Brown. Fall with the swat away. And here comes Davis. Knocked away from him.
What a play by Amelagu. UCF has only committed 2 team fouls. I think you've got to start taking your fouls, don't you?
Slow the clock down a little bit.
Well, you're going to need to get to the bonus.
Yeah. Milton. Oh, Epiani had his back turned to that one. Little floater of a pass after Milton got himself up in the air. 3 to shoot. All the way to the bucket. Up and over the top. And a turnover. And the under 4 timeout.
SMU is winning on the big board, but the big fella, he's impacting the game on both ends.
Close one going on here in Orlando between SMU and UCF. SMU trying to win on the road, something that can be so difficult when you get into one of these close grinding games. You need leadership on the floor.
And SMU has 2 outstanding seniors in terms of Ben Moore and Sterling Brown. As you take a look at some of their gaudy numbers, just remember this. Sterling Brown has been a part of 96 wins. Ben Moore has been a part of 95 wins. They've helped change the culture at SMU into a winning culture. And you don't win that many games in a career without winning some really hard-nosed, grinded-out games on the road. And that's what they find themselves in here at UCF.
What's at stake? SMU trying to stay within a game of the Cincinnati Bearcats for first place in the American Conference standings. For UCF, Joe Lunardi says they must win this game and get a split in their 2 remaining games with Cincinnati to have any shot at consideration for the NCAA tournament where an at-large bid is concerned. B.J. Taylor drives, feeds it out. Williams had trouble with it, picked it up.
What a great catch by Matt Williams.
Fires. Front rim over the top. That is a 4th consecutive trip down the floor without points for the Knights.
But it is a shot on goal by your best 3-point shooter. Was it a great look? No, but he can make that shot. Again, I think these team fouls are going to play a huge issue. Neither team anywhere close to the bonus.
And UCF with just the 1 timeout remaining after using some earlier in this second half. 2.5 to go, 10 to shoot. Milton with a nice feed to Ben Moore. No look, backhand pass with the right hand.
That's how they worked on attacking Taco Fall, by playing downhill.
B.J. Taylor rattled around and out. Fall. Gonna call that a tied up ball.
Oh, I thought Taco Fall got fouled big time. Let's go back to SMU and their execution. Here's Milton, attracts Fall, but look at that great wraparound pass, and Moore is able to finish before Fall can recover.
So the possession arrow gives the ball to the Mustangs. We'll flip that possession arrow to the favor of the Knights as we go into these final 2 minutes, but that doesn't help UCF going again down the floor on an empty possession as B.J. Taylor commits the foul.
I think this is what UCF is going to have to do. Need to remind everybody that this is the only time these two teams play this year. UCF does not go back to Moody.
Yep, correct. The next time they might see each other is in the American Conference Tournament in Hartford.
I don't think down 8 you can afford to grind out possessions defensively.
Let the Mustangs take a lot of time off the clock while you're waiting for something to happen like right now. Shake Milton out to Ben Moore. Brown cut off by Williams, back out to Moore with 5 to shoot. Off the iron, A.J. Davis with the rebound. Taylor gets the screen from Fall and hits.
Well, I think what we're going to see here is the officials ruled that it was a 2 on the spot. But once you get in the last 2 minutes of the game, this last segment, they can go to the monitor to make sure.
Which is exactly what is happening now. Quick break. We'll be back. Find out whether it's a 2 or a 3. So a look at whether or not this was 2 or 3.
In the last 4 minutes of the game, officials can go immediately to see whether or not it was a 2 or a 3, and I think they're ruling it as a 2. The under 4, of course, allows the officials to look immediately.
And it is ruled a 2.
Take another look. Is it a size 9 or 9.5?
Right foot toe just caught that paint. So that is a 2. So it sets us with a 6-point deficit. Minute and a half to go.
UCF is going to have to foul 4 more times before they get to the bonus with SMU. I think they've got to start doing it immediately. Still a 2-possession game.
So pressure here by the Knights. SMU breaks the pressure, gets across the timeline, and Williams will foul Milton.
I'm okay with that in terms of why didn't they foul in backcourt. Try a double team, see what you can get there. But now I don't think you can wait. I think you've got to foul immediately.
Ojale working on Effiani. Now over to Moore. Back to Shake Milton. Coming down to a minute to go. 6-point deficit for UCF. SMU trying to close it out. Roller won't go as Brown had to float it up and over Taco Fall. How quickly can the Knights work? Taylor will drive, stop, and pop. Got it.
It's still a 2-possession game, though. Now Mike Stewart wants to take a look. This is a clock issue. Did the clock, in the last minute, the clock stops. And so they want to make sure that's correct. This will benefit Johnny Dawkins with only the 1 timeout. So he's gotten, with these reviews, he's gotten a couple of free timeouts.
He's quickly got the clipboard in hand over on the Knights bench. Watch the clock.
Taylor with a high-arcing step-back jumper that gets the friendly roll. And they do reset it to 48. But it's still a 2-possession game. So everything that UCF does from this point forward, Alan, has to be with the idea we want the ball at the end in a 1-possession game. Can they get there?
Nobody in foul trouble for the Knights. SMU breaks the pressure. A.J. Davis will hit Ben Moore and draw the foul. And still not at the bonus yet. So SMU to inbound the ball. And timeout called by Amelagu as he had a little trouble and was afraid of a 5-second violation.
Not enough body movement. Amelagu looked backwards. Didn't find a teammate.
So a 4-point game, 39.8 to go. Who wins it? Find out next. SMU Mustangs trying to get a tough road win in a building where the UCF Knights of Johnny Dawkins have only lost once all season. And a quick foul from A.J. Davis on Ben Moore.
UCF did not match up, though. That was way too easy to get it into Moore. Moore would be one of the guys you want to foul at 66%. SMU as a team shoots almost 72% in league play. That's third best. Now notice the 66% shooter is going to be the trigger man now. Hard to foul the guy that takes it out.
Yeah. Substitutions for UCF. Taco Fall goes out of the game. Chad Brown comes in. A.J. Davis goes out of the game. B.J. Taylor will be the one to commit the foul on Shake Milton.
Nice job by SMU to realize that Moore needed to be the trigger man, get the ball into an 84% free throw shooter like Shake Milton.
So Taco Fall back into the game. Chad Brown out. We see this situation sometimes at the end of games for offense, defense.
Now here's the other part of the foul situation, Alan. SMU with the lead has 3 more fouls to give.
SMU a 68% free throw shooting team on the season.
Clutch.
Milton will get a second. Still just be a 2-possession game if he makes the second one. And he does.
I think UCF needs a 3. Cannot trade 2 for 2.
Taylor throws it up to Taco, slams it down. Johnny Dawkins calls his final timeout.
But trading 2 for 2 only gets you still a 2-possession game. Take another look. SMU guards the arc, so Fall was available. Johnny Dawkins takes his last remaining timeout.
All right, so if you're UCF, you're fouling here.
Yeah, I'm denying everywhere. I'm not guarding the guy out of bounds. I'm doubling back and denying. I might go for one quick trap. But other than that, you're going to talk about in this huddle, okay, here's the guys that we would like to foul. And there's not a lot to choose from with this SMU team. The worst free throw shooter would be Amelagu at 56%. So if he touches it, forget the double team. If he touches it, foul. So they're talking defense. SMU is talking about getting guys open, spacing, making sure you're not running into each other, make sure that you're coming and meeting all passes.
So SMU trying to keep pace with Cincinnati, who, by the way, have the big crosstown rivalry game against Xavier.
Can you get me a ticket to that one, too? I'll just stay up in that part of the world. I'll go to UC on Thursday and Rupp on Saturday. Can you see if you can get that done?
I might know a guy. So the best drawn up plans from each coaching huddle.
Brown can run the baseline.
They will flash here. We'll see whose wins. Amelagu gets it in, and Efiani does tag him quite quickly.
I'm curious why you would throw the ball inbounds to Amelagu at just 56%.
So Taco Fall comes back into the game. Chad Brown goes back out of the game.
I think Tim Jankovic is telling his team to foul, which I agree. They've got fouls to give.
That aren't giving up any points.
Well, I'm never a fan of not putting guys at the line.
So Amelagu makes the first. And a successful make here will again make it a 6-point lead.
How about that? 4 for 4 free throwing in the last minute.
Clutch. Taylor heaves it up.
Wow, I thought this could have easily been a shooting foul. Milton waited way too late to commit the foul. Take another look. That, I think, is a shooting foul. And I've got a lot of people in agreement with me here.
25 to go. Taylor drives, trying to draw the foul on the way to the iron. Gets the basket, does not get the foul.
UCF out of timeouts.
They will make the call on Efiani, fouling Shemi Ojale. So that is the third on Efiani, and we're at 20.8 seconds to go.
Last bonus situation for the Mustangs. Team foul number 9 on UCF. Again, UCF cannot continue to just trade twos.
Missed it. Taylor drives, wildly thrown up, right into the hands of Amelagu. And now Milton will get fouled, 10 seconds to go.
B.J. Taylor doesn't do many things wrong. There's just too many blue jerseys. Euro step between 4 guys with all the length as opposed to B.J. Taylor. Kind of forced the issue there.
So Shake Milton, leading scorer in the game for the Mustangs, looking to add to his point total.
Tim Jankovic wants a timeout. I think he's going to discuss how to foul.
Well, you're going to put the Knights in a position of needing 2 threes anyway.
Right.
And with only 10 seconds to go, do you foul?
Yes. I'm fouling, though, in backcourt. They've still got 2 fouls to give, so if you chop off a second and a half each time, I mean, you're whittling this down. So, okay. Tim Jankovic, do you think he's having fun yet? We talked with him today about the suffering profession of coaching.
Weekend off coming up for the Mustangs, which they could use for a little healing, again, with such a thin bench at the moment. Then a tough stretch at Tulsa and at Temple before the rematch with Cincinnati at Moody, which will be a great one. That one rattles around and out. Under 10 seconds to go, trailing by 5. Taylor heaves up a 3, off the mark. And the Knights fouling and getting no whistles, and that's it. Game will end with SMU getting a physical and a hard-fought 5-point road win in Orlando.
UCF got a great effort from Fall, but in the end, it was the balance of SMU that wins out. Shake Milton delivers in a big-time way in the second half.
Shemi Ojale there, 16 points on the night. Milton with 19. Ben Moore with 14 to lead the way for the Mustangs. And on the side of the UCF Knights, B.J. Taylor with 22, a double-double for Taco Fall. But for just the second time this season and the first time in conference play, the Knights will lose on their home floor.
A great road win for SMU.
Mustangs off on the weekend, play East Carolina at home next week. Saturday, Knights head to Tulsa for a tough road game. So final score, SMU 65, UCF 60. For Mark Wise, Alan Bestwick saying so long from Orlando. Don't forget Baylor, Texas Tech coming up.